Hey! Over here! So good to see you. It's pretty cool here, isn't it? While I have you, I want to promise you 2 things. Number 1, this is the only Apple Vision Pro review that you need. You found it. And number 2, well, you've never seen a review quite like this. My time with Vision Pro has been interesting, unlike any product I've ever used before. It's getting me to make my first real review video. But for you to truly experience what I experienced, we're gonna need to start from the beginning, because I promise, we are going to end up in a very, very different place by the end. The first few days with Apple Vision Pro leaned pretty negative for me. I believe this is sort of a side effect of building expectations based on years of tech rumors and hype, and maybe a sprinkle of having used similar VR headsets before it. And now, being faced with the actual real Vision Pro in my own hands, it was like I ran into a brick wall head first. Even with a load of preconceived notions, Vision Pro still gave me some standout moments. Initial setup, for instance, felt like real magic. The second it seamlessly started tracking my eye movement, and incredibly accurately at that, it felt like real-life magic. It is so intuitive. The ability to control everything with just your eyes and a pinch gesture from your fingers feels absolutely natural. It somehow feels brand new and familiar all at the same time. But once I was in and it was set up, I don't know, it was like the demo of it all wore off fast, and I became very critical very fast. Within minutes, I labeled it as just another VR headset that suffered from the same physics that every other VR headset seems to have. Is it higher quality than something like the Meta Quest? Yes, of course, but it's also much heavier. There are no controllers and no VR spatial gaming experiences. And the pass-through, though definitely much better than any other pass-through I have ever seen, is still just using cameras to feed your surroundings to a set of screens. Vision Pro's cameras have the same limitation as all camera footage, especially footage from what are basically phone cameras. The quality nosedives and the cameras start to suffocate in low light. And no matter what the resolution of the displays are, bad camera footage ruins any illusion of immersion, and it does it pretty fast. As someone who has been working directly with cameras and screens for a long time, and knowing how cameras and screens work, I picked this thing apart. I can see chromatic aberrations. I can see display fringing and warping. I can see the feed struggling to stabilize in front of my eyes, causing what everyone seems to be referring to as motion blur. Luckily, if I'm right, this is just software stabilization, and that can all be sorted out or at least helped in the future with a software update. But that is not what shipped, and obviously that's not what you'll be getting if you buy Vision Pro right now. The list was growing, and my opinion was sort of snowballing straight into the gutter. One single domino, like shoddy low-light camera performance, would fall and hit another, and you know how it goes. I seem to be making up my mind faster than I thought I would, faster than I wanted to. As someone who thoroughly enjoys the Meta Quest, I was in awe at how heavy and uncomfortable Vision Pro was. At first, I had the wrong light seal, and it felt like I was legit wearing someone else's cheekbones. Using Vision Pro was just borderline painful sometimes. Having the correct light seal has helped that immensely, but it's still very heavy, and the weight distribution is very much right there in the front. And you know what really kills me? The awkwardness of it all really almost purely comes from Apple's own hubris. Their need to ship metal and glass products, their need to over-engineer things to hell and back in the name of premium. Vision Pro is no exception. The device is incredibly over-engineered. I was really starting to wonder how Apple could even ship something like this, something that was designed for a human to wear multiple hours at a time. I mean, companies like Meta and countless others have already figured this out. I thought it was like a solved situation here. There are so many unnecessary things that are still somehow absolutely necessary in order for this to be called an Apple product. I'll tell you this, Vision Pro feels very much like the $4,000 device that I paid for. The materials are very much premium, almost too premium at times. The material on the inside of the headset, for instance, is just this thin layer of polyester hugging the technological marvels on the inside. And that causes me to be so careful even handling this with my bare hands. Even the light seal that blocks the light from where the headset sits on your nose is literally just this little cushion of nylon. It's horrifying and I should not be trusted with it. These displays though, are incredible. They are technologically the most impressive displays you have ever used. I do not see pixels, I do not see any screen dooring effect, but again, these displays are being viewed through lenses that are slaves to the same physics as any pair of pancake lenses ever. Like the pass-through camera feed issue mentioned before, these are problems that Apple cannot overcome. Not yet. You will see glare, and you'll especially see that glare while watching bright content in lower light environments like the cinema, or really any of the virtual environments set to nighttime. The field of view in Vision Pro, not great. Regardless of what you heard, eventually you will get used to it, just like you got used to the notch on your iPhone. And if you've never used another VR headset, you may not question the field of view at all. But Vision Pro's field of view is dramatically smaller than what I'm used to from products that cost a fraction of Vision Pro's price tag. It's not terrible, but it's not great. And especially at first, you might feel like you're looking through binoculars. My God, I cannot believe that Apple shipped this sometimes. What is this? The giant and heavy metal battery attached to Vision Pro externally through this crazy cable at first was a lot for me to handle, but I get it, right? This thing is already packed to the peen with incredible technology. We're talking multiple processors that require cooling, that are doing everything in real time. All of the cameras and sensors, the automatically adjusting lenses, there's so much more. It is insane. There is simply no way to also fit a battery inside Vision Pro and have it not weigh more than a whole microwave. At the time of this recording, if you really love VR and VR gaming, the ability to move around in a virtual environment, Vision Pro is not for you. Number one, because Apple doesn't allow you to move freely very far. Once you move a few feet in a direction, your real environment will start to fade back in. And number two, this thing is just way too premium and way too heavy to even dream of being active in. Absolutely out of the question, as far as I'm concerned. My experience with eye tracking has been very accurate, at least 95%. The hand tracking, on the other hand, well, it is not 95% accurate. The better the lighting is, the better chance it has at actually seeing my hands, obviously. But in normal, chill, nighttime, relaxing environments at home, the sensors are going to struggle. Again, this is all just physics. How could Apple not see that? How are they not more prepared for this? Why did they give this to us in the first place? How could I not see that? I don't know why I thought Apple could break the laws of physics, give us something magical. We've seen this before. Vision Pro is just an overpriced Apple tax version of something like the Quest 3. Something like... Do you hear the words that I'm saying right now? This is how I viewed Vision Pro for that entire first week of using it. And you know what? It's the same trap that every tech reviewer falls into about every tech product ever, always. I'm telling you, we look at these things too technically, and sometimes we are so blinded by our own understanding of how the technology works that we rob ourselves of the experience and the meaning it delivers. It's like working at Disney World and knowing how all of the rides work. Sometimes that can rob us from seeing how truly and utterly magical that experience is and can be for someone that just wants to be on the ride, man. I don't know, can we do something together just for a second? Can we ignore how the rides work? Can we just talk about how it feels? There are moments using Vision Pro, split seconds, where it fools you. These moments where your brain is truly convinced of an environment. You're really there. You're really standing in white sands, and you don't just see the incredible landscape that surrounds you, but the spatial audio of the environment envelops you. The sounds of sand shifting at your feet, the atmosphere. It's so compelling that soon you start to feel the wind hitting you. In that moment, pure magic. These small moments were always there, but I was too caught up in my own attempt at justifying Vision Pro's existence that I didn't let myself just experience the ride. In the Encounter Dinosaurs app, that demo app that I'm sure you've seen everywhere by now, yeah, of course, the dinosaurs are visually impressive and the fidelity of the screens is absurd. But it's actually when the butterfly sees you. When you stick your hand out and the butterfly flies into your space and lands on your finger, you feel it happen. In that moment, your brain totally buys it. That is when it's magic. When you're on the moon, you're not just visually in space. The sound from your real-world environment drops off. You hear the nothingness. You almost feel yourself struggle to breathe. You feel existential dread, and you'll find yourself on the moon looking back at Earth, feeling your stomach drop as if you are actually 240,000 miles away from home. Playing augmented reality puzzles in Vision Pro unlocks a strange part of your brain that can't understand, can't fathom that your friends in the room can't also see what you're seeing. FaceTime calls feel real. They sound real. Personas, especially the earlier versions, can be a bit questionable sometimes, sure, but the uncanny valley quickly smooths out as the impact of seeing your friends truly feel like they are in the room with you hits. It's like you could reach out and touch them for real. The look of the eyes, the movement of the eyes feels so natural, it feels like you're making direct eye contact with a human in front of you. When you're in pass-through, having a call from within your own room, you hear your friend's voice echoing off of your walls. And when you go into a virtual environment, so will the call. Truly, and I absolutely mean this, there is no better way to FaceTime someone than on Vision Pro. FaceTiming on an iPhone feels like caveman activity now. When you're in pass-through, the UI is insane. It's locked into place, and it looks like everything is legitimately in your room. Windows look real, so real, you could touch them. Spatial videos, specifically ones captured directly from Vision Pro, not from your iPhone, are a visceral and emotional experience. It is quite literally like stepping foot back into a memory. It is not just a video. It is a moment in time. This is the photograph reinvented. And for some of you watching right now, you know why that is magic. Showing Vision Pro to people who are not like me, and probably you, those regular people you might have heard about, they put this thing on and cannot believe their eyes. For me, showing Vision Pro to regular, normal, functioning adults is half the fun. To them, they don't know how cameras and displays work. They do not care. They're just seeing actual pass-through, as if they were wearing nothing but a set of transparent lenses. And the weird visual issues like blur or chromatic aberrations are just written off by their brains telling them that they're looking through a pair of goggles. To them, it's real. This is real magic to them. It's in those experiences, those very human experiences within Vision Pro, where everything, the hiccups, the barriers, the build quality, the weight, the camera quality, all of it Everything that every tech reviewer tells you is important isn't. All of that stuff falls away. And it just took me a second to figure that out. Listen, mixed reality, virtual reality, spatial computing even, none of this is exclusive to Apple. It has all been done before. We've used many headsets and even glasses that attempt to do all of these same things, but no one, and I mean no one, has attempted it with the same level of care as Apple. I have been preaching for 10 years, if not more, that AR and VR mixed reality is the future. Believe me, I've got 10 years of video evidence to back that up. But Vision Pro is the first tech product that has ever actually let me look into that future. It actually puts me there. It's like wanting to travel to places you've never seen. But the catch is you have to get on the first airplane ever invented to do it. It's kind of a clunky vehicle. Sometimes the flight is uncomfortable. But you know what? You're gonna get there. Vision Pro is the first real-life time machine that you can buy today. Everyone was hoping for some sort of killer app. And you know what? At first, so was I. Then I realized Vision OS is the killer app. That experience is the reason you want to wear the headset. Again, even with my new light seal, it can be uncomfortable sometimes, but I still find myself wanting to be in there. I need you to bear with me on this one, all right? When I'm doing something on my phone, I'm almost locked in this box, this rectangle of glass and metal, a portal that forces me to be connected to use it. There's so much happening out here, but in order to do anything in here, I have to only look right here. Even a simple notification that comes across my screen could get me to open up my phone, which could then sweep me away to some TikTok somewhere, and suddenly, I've been here for a long time. My phone is constantly serving me distractions. But with Vision Pro, I actually feel more disconnected from those distractions. It feels like I have more choice, more discretion over what gets my attention and where. I am so serious when I say this. This is going to change everything. Again, I'm aware Apple isn't the first to a space like this. However, Apple is the first company to build the closest thing ever to a time machine that can actually trick my brain into believing my eyes. Remember when Apple put 5G in the iPhone and went on stage and said 5G just got real and we all kind of made a meme out of that? Yeah, well, turns out then all of the cellular companies actually started building real, viable 5G networks. Apple Vision Pro has opened up a can of worms that cannot be closed now. In the wake of this device, we will see changes ripple through the industry and probably rapidly at that. Changes at how you, I, everyone experiences the digital world. Right now, even inside of Vision Pro, yes, everything is locked within Windows because, well, that's where the digital world has been since always. But soon, websites will have the ability to load within an entirely new dimension, giving you the ability to move around within that website, navigate that website in ways you never saw coming. Can I show you? This is not real yet. We made this. This was not recorded in Vision Pro, and what you are seeing is 100% CGI. But one day, you see what I'm saying? Even something as simple as the way we browse changes today. The way we watch and enjoy sports changes. Imagine seeing the field with players running plays in real time in your living room. Imagine sitting courtside for your favorite teams. Content will jump from the screens and take you with it. And I am not just talking about how incredible 3D movies are on Vision Pro. I'm talking about Apple's new content format, Apple Immersive, where completely new cameras are used to film fully immersive content. Content that, while only in Gen 1, already makes you feel like a fly on the wall of real experiences. Training and schooling will never be the same. Doctors can perform and practice simulated surgeries without hurting anyone. Mechanics can learn to fix your car before even touching the real thing. People with physical impairments will see corners of the world they never thought possible, all while being truly immersed. Lockdowns will never again stop us from seeing our friends. When you just let go a little bit and dedicate your mind to wanting to experience the future that Vision Pro represents, nothing comes close. All of the things, the technological specifications, the weight, the battery packs, it all disappears. And what you're left with is a window into the future that quite literally right now only Vision Pro can provide. It is not about Vision Pro Gen 2 or Vision Pro 3. It's about Vision Pro now. This one. And this one doesn't just let you see where the future is headed, it puts you in the future now. There's a lot of talk about how dystopian this device feels and looks. Some have labeled Vision Pro as sad, seeing the user as disconnected from reality and alone. I'll tell you this, Vision Pro, specifically in FaceTime, is the first product to ever allow me to feel not alone in a space I clearly was. The way people stare at me when getting onto a plane wearing Vision Pro is the same way people used to stare when we started putting cameras on phones. This concept, like all the ones that came before it, can only be so foreign for so long. Right now, there are two emerging paths to the future, in my opinion. We have VR and AR, mixed reality, if you will, and we have AI. And I think those roads are gonna start to merge, and merge kinda fast. In areas of Vision Pro that physics fail the experience, AI will be able to step in to correct and compensate. These machine learning tools are already hard at work in simple day-to-day experiences with tech that you already have. I feel so strongly that this is the future that now it's hard to care about iPhone rumors. Like, to me, the iPhone is a car driving on a road that stops in a dead end. There's only so much we can do there. In 10, 15, maybe 20 years, this is the next iPhone. Maybe not this specific device in this specific form factor, but the destinations that it takes us to are the future. This is a PC. This is a personal computer. But so was this at first. These headsets may just be the desktop walking before the smartphone can run. And maybe it isn't about trying to make everything in Vision Pro fit into a pair of small glasses. Maybe they can exist the same way desktops still exist in a world of smartphones. Maybe, just maybe, this headset is the new desktop. Apple Vision Pro is easily the single most technologically impressive thing I have ever experienced in my life. A real risk Apple took to show us the future. A single device that can place us in memories of the past and yet find ways to show us experiences 10 years into the future. A real-life time machine today.